I was personally in a group, facilitating a group which was doing material on Instagram, for example. I showed them some pages with, there are Instagram pages of influencers and Instagram pages of actual medias, worldwide medias, which I'm not gonna mention now, but there is a big difference in how these two types of sites work. You know, you have the influencer who is promoting something, and the media, which is actually commentating, monitoring, analyzing. And this is how the youngsters manage to practice to see how a media can be created in an easy way, to be influensive as well, to reach a huge number of people, because nowadays you don't even need to pay $50 on Facebook to have your post reach a huge crowd. You can only write down 10 hashtags and people will immediately relate to them in the next 1 or 2 days, depending what the hashtags are about. If you want to have a huge reachability of your posts, you need to first discover what news, what hashtags are most famous on Instagram, for example, and then you create the material related with that, and you just wait and see what people are going to comment.
Oh, that's really nice. So we are going to talk about social media management a little bit, so as you can talk with us, and I want to talk to you about the difference. For example, you told me that in the social medias that it can be media, it can be like a news or not. So how will we separate between each other?
Quite easy, actually. First of all, the language which is used. And I'm not saying about grammar, because this is just differentiating the professional from the unprofessional subjects, like media or non-media. But if you see the language, if there is an intro to something, if it's something crucial to the society, for example, if it's about natural disaster or a car accident, or about politics, because politics are also from a social interest, a huge interest of the society. And of course, if there are arguments, people usually, for example, on some blogs in Tumblr, people usually share their own thoughts. This cannot be considered a media, but there are some people who are sharing, for example, authors' thoughts, commentating them, and this is part of the media, because first they're commentating, they're analyzing using arguments and facts, and second it's about a person who is working in the culture sector, and culture is one category from the media, for example, especially in the national medias. Culture is an essential and obligatory part of the national TVs. In Bulgarian case, Bulgarian National TV and Bulgarian National Radio. So you need to know how to write a media so that it can become one. You cannot write whatever you want and expect to pretend to be a media.
So the things that you mentioned are really important. So do you think that there has to be a lesson that kids needs to know, like what is the real information, what is not real information, what's like in the social media, because things are getting really in the gray area. So you did something that is focusing on this important problem. So what do you think that what could the people need to do to solve this?
One of the nights there in Kirkvaleri, we had the governor visit us.
Oh, that's
he was visiting us during an exhibition of the materials which all of the youngsters did, the media materials, and he was asking questions, and he asked me, how can you recognize if, for example, you have a media and they splash a picture on it? How do you know if this picture is real, or if it's old, or if it's even related to the event, which is. And of course, I answered him. One of the things which I'm going to mention again as an argument, related to your question. First, you search up the news, which is about the picture. You try to find other sources to see if there are similar pictures, or if not the same picture, the similar pictures in it. You cannot get informed only from one source nowadays. In the past, there used to be a couple of newspapers, a radio and television. They industrialized media so much until today, and literally everywhere you're receiving signals, and you don't know what to rely on or not. So you need to, if you want to learn about something on the internet, for example, search for at least 5 sources.